Hey everybody, welcome back to the Race 5 Smokehouse and Grill. Today we are firing up the Weber Smokey Mountain. We are throwing a couple slabs of spare ribs on here, and I'm trying to get these done in about 3 hours. Let's see what we could do. Let's go. Let's jump right in, and today we are starting with a 2-pack of spare ribs. These are full spare ribs. Let's open it up and show you what we're talking about here. Yeah. Now this is a full slab of spare ribs. We're going to trim these down to somewhat St. Louis style. So we're going to take these top bones off. We're going to take the rib tips off, trim this up. I'll show you how we do it real quick here. Now this doesn't have to be in any particular order, but we are going to start by taking this flap off here just to give us a little bit more space. Save that, that's good meat. Throw it on the grill for a pitmaster snack. Save it for your sausages, burgers, whatever you want to make with it, ground pork. Now that we got that flap off, we're going to cut right above here. You're gonna look for maybe and this one, it's what, 1, 2, 3, 4. Between the third and fourth bones are typically the longest bones. So you're gonna wanna cut just above those, trim that off. Make sure you have yourself a good heavy-duty knife that could get through a little bone and cartilage. In this rib section here, there is a big chine bone here. Could get that out of here. Not a lot of good meat on there, it's just a big bone. Get that out of there. Now this here's gonna be your rib tips. We're gonna throw this off to the side, and I like cooking rib tips on their own, so I'm gonna save these for rib tips later on. Now we have a nice squared up slab of ribs. I am gonna take this flap of meat off here just to square it up a little bit more. Again, I'm gonna save that for ground meat later, sausages, whatever. Boom. Nice and easy, looking good. Let's flip it over, take a look at the top side, see if there's any trimming we need to do. And just looking at it quick, there's not a lot of fat, but there is good marbling on here. So I'm not gonna do anything with it. I'm just gonna leave it as is. Let's get back to the back side here. Looking great again. I'm not gonna mess with the membrane today. We're just gonna give it a score. Crosshatch score here. That's gonna be good enough after it's cooked. When you bite, it's gonna be tender and come apart, no problem. Let me get this one out of the way. We're gonna do the second one real quick. We have our ribs all trimmed up. Now it's time to flip them over and start seasoning them up. We're gonna season the back side first because this is the side that's gonna be cooking down. We want to keep that meat side, the presentation side, and looking pretty. Today, we're using a couple of my favorite rubs here. We're using JDQ Sweet Garlic as the first layer. Get some great color and flavor on here. Sweet, salty, kick of garlic, very nice. Then we're following it up with Chicken Fried Barbecue's Texas Rib Grind. This stuff gives great color, great appearance, because there's big coarse pepper in here, and that always looks good on your ribs. Backside's done, flip them over. And we're gonna do the same thing to the top. Gonna go a little heavier on this top side since it is the meat side. These a quick pat in here. That's it for rubbing them up and seasoning them. Now it's time to head over to the Weber Smokey Mountain, get that fired up, and show you how we're gonna run this. And we're trying to do this quick today. I don't know if I said it earlier, but trying to get this done in 3 to 3.5 hours today. Let's see if we can get it done. Let's get over to that smoker. Okay, we are starting with some Jealous Devil lump charcoal in there. We have a couple of wax lighter cubes in there. Let's get this fired up. Those cubes are gonna roll, get a little fire in the center of that charcoal bed. That's when we're gonna throw some cherry wood on top here and then let her close back up. So we'll be back in a few minutes once that fire's caught up. These ribs are rested up good and got nice and tacky. And we'll be back when it's time to put it together and get the ribs on the grill. Maybe 5-10 minutes have gone by. That charcoal's starting to ash over real nice. We've got that nice little bit of red in the center there. So I know this is gonna burn nice and low and slow. Let's get this put together before those charcoals all go up and it gets too hot. We do have the fire down there, tough to see. Fire dial is in there. We are not using any water pan. Forgot to throw the wood in there. Nice thing about the Weber Smokey Mountain is you have the door. Chuck them in there. Get some nice smoke rolling. Let's get these ribs on as that's coming up the temp. These are looking super nice and tacky here. Kind of lining these up on the same way, the thicker side, each on the same end. Give it a push together, that way it'll stay that way, and you'll get a little bit meatier bites on it too. Ribs are on, closed down. We're gonna monitor the temp. I'm expecting this to run somewhere between 275 and 300 because that fire dial's in there as a deflector. If it wasn't in there, it'd run even hotter. If we had a water pen in there, it'd run even cooler. So we're gonna come back in about 45 minutes and see how these ribs are doing, maybe give a spritz. I am gonna rotate it to promote even cooking. So we'll be back in about 45 minutes, see how they're doing. We're at 45 minutes in. Let's go take a peek at these ribs, see how they're doing, and see what we're gonna do next. These ribs are looking real nice, getting some good color, tacking up even more, getting that bark set up. I'm gonna give this, I'll rotate halfway around. That way it could cook on the opposite side, even cooking. Let's close her back down. When you're dealing with the Weber Smokey Mountain, and especially if you're not using a heat deflector or the fire dial, you want to get that open and closed as quick as possible. All that extra oxygen could really ignite those coals, leading your fire to get out of control. This has been hovering around 275, which is perfect. If we could keep it there the whole cook, that'll be great. I'm still anticipating it as more coals light up. It's going to creep closer to 300, and I'm okay with that for this cook. So we're going to let it go another 45 minutes, and we're going to come back, check it out, and it may be time to wrap already. We'll be back in another 45 minutes. Another 45 minutes has gone by. Let's go check these ribs. We're an hour and a half in. We've been rocking around 290 right now, which is exactly what we were expecting. Let's go check on these ribs. This is about the time where I do like to start wrapping them to help push this cook along. These ribs are looking great, so I am going to pull them off, wrap them up real quick, get them back on, and I want to keep this closed down. So let's go get the wrap set up and start wrapping these up. Gonna hit this with a couple pats of butter, 3 or 4, whatever. And we're hitting it with Dangles Habanero rib sauce. Man, these smell amazing. Looking good. Meat side down, let it soak in that butter and sauce. A couple more pats down here. And we're just gonna repeat the process up top. Little drizzle of sauce all over, and then give this a quick wrap. I'm doing 2 sheets of heavy duty foil, trying to make sure that it doesn't rip or tear. Back on the grill and do slab number 2. Nice and tight, back on the grill. Close it back up. Hour 15, when we come back, we're gonna start checking temperature in there. And if it's getting close to done, we're gonna pull it off, sauce it up, get it back on for the final 15 minutes to 45 minutes. Okay, we are 1 more hour in, so that's 2.5 hours right now. Time to go look at these ribs and give a quick temp check, see if we are where we wanna be. We wanna be at about 200 to 205 internal temp of the meat. We wanna see some nice pullback on the back of those ribs. That's what we're gonna be looking for when we open this up. And we have been cruising right around that 299, 300 mark. Oh yeah. See, we have that nice edge pullback happening, so we know that's good. Now we're just gonna probe right in the middle of some ribs here. 203, 205. These might be a little bit more. Yep, 207. That's exactly where I wanna be. We're gonna take both of these off, get them out of that wrap, give them a quick glaze, back on the grill to finish up for the final 15 to 30 minutes here. Okay, we have our ribs here. We're gonna pop these right out. Looking great. We're gonna take some of this rib juice here with the juices from the meat and that sauce. Take some more of that barbecue sauce, and we're gonna add it in with this juice here. Give her a quick mixer. Let's get these back on the grill, and then we're gonna hit it with that glaze. These are back on, let's close it up. We're gonna give it about 15 minutes, maybe 20 to tack up, and then we're gonna pull them off, let them rest for about 5-10 minutes, slice into them, see how we did. 3 hours or so, these ribs are gonna be done. No need to do that 3-2-1 method. These are gonna be great, and you're gonna see here in a minute. We have these spare ribs done, took 3 hours, almost to the second. We've let them rest a couple minutes here. Now it's time to slice into them and see how we did. I'm just gonna go ahead and move this big guy over here for now. We're gonna slice into this. Now, the thing with ribs, a lot of times ribs go sideways and all angled all over the place. It kind of helps a touch just to look on the back and see the angle that the ribs are going. Like right here, you see the bone. And just cut there, and you can follow the bones on the back here, nice and easily. You can see how they start to angle a little bit more. Now we gotta flip these and try them out. All right, I'm taking this big guy here. Look at that beautiful color in there. Nice and juicy. And now with ribs, it's all about that bite. You want a nice, clean bite through without meat falling off. I could tell it's tender. Perfect bite through. Perfect bite through. Don't even notice that I left the membrane on. It got so tender, cooked through so nicely, bites right through, no issues. Great flavor from the smoke, the rubs, the sauce, everything we did. 3 hours for spare rib. If you like what we did here, be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Check me out on social media, and we will be talking to you all soon. Take care, everybody. Peace.